I don't know what all you got into, but this is the Lindsay Beckham Show. We will be streaming live in just a moment on Facebook, YouTube, and X. We are live coming from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios here in the heart of Flora, the Cotton Exchange Plaza. And we do have Sean Yergeron back in the studio with us today. We are glad that he's here. He's had a tough week, and thank you to everyone who's reached out and you sent your condolences and love. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll say that on a personal note. I really, my mother unfortunately passed away last Saturday morning, and down in Diamond Head, I was there with her, thankfully, and she it was a very short battle with cancer. She was diagnosed with stage 4 esophageal cancer on October the 10th, and 42 days later, she was gone. Which it's been a very difficult time for me and my family. And but I do want to thank everybody who listens, who's reached out to me. It's been really, really nice to hear from you all. And my family appreciates that. Appreciate Lindsay, obviously, for sticking by me through all this. It's been a really tough time. And, people are asking me, do you want to come do the radio day? I was like, yes, actually, nothing sounded actually better than coming out here and talking on the radio, and because my mom would have liked that. She really would have enjoyed.
She loved to listen. She
listened all the time, and she wanted to. She likes to hear me talk about law. She really liked to hear me talk about prosecuting people, because she loved. Just she hated bad people, so she's like, oh, you got another one. She used to love that, and then so that's we're gonna talk about a little bit about that today in honor of my mom. So.
I was laughing earlier because sometimes Sean gets just, obviously we disagree on a lot politically, and sometimes he gets just so sick of politics and us arguing each other's sides, and he'll say, I'm going to turn politics off. I'm just going to take a break from politics. And I think today you're like, give me all the politics. Let's talk about politics.
I'm all about it. Like, is there some Trump stuff out there? Okay, all right. Can we talk about him? I did send you, I was at the doctor early this morning, and I sent Lindsay one of the new Trump Truth socials. I was like, hey, she's like, what? You're not usually doing that. You don't want to talk about politics. I'm like, yeah, today I'm good. I'm like, thanks, Donald. Yeah. She sent out another one.
Give us something to talk about.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. So anyway, but we're gonna get into that. So what happened yesterday is the Mississippi Court of Appeals affirmed the case of of Jordan Cummins, who was the man back in 2023 that shot and killed Joshua Spann and Auden, or Jubilee. You knew her, Jubilee Simpkins, right?
Simpkins, yes. Juby was one of the twins teachers at daycare, and they just worshipped the ground she walked on. You could not find a sweeter girl from a better family. Just very, very salt of the earth, good people.
And this was at the St. Paddy's Day, the infamous St. Paddy's Day parade in Jackson, which is kind of like one of the biggest money makers for the city of Jackson. And unfortunately, there's been violence the last couple of years, as there was this year as well.
Yeah. So I'm going to play like the know nothing about the law and ask you these questions that I think, a normal person would want to know. So it feels like we just kind of saw that conviction, that court case play
June
out.
of 2024, right? Yeah, I wrote an article for the Magnolia Tribune. Me and Russ Latino and I wrote a joint article.
Because y'all were in the courtroom for some of it.
Trial, yeah.
And why is it now coming back up? Why are people talking about it again? Why has there been a new opinion? Explain like what's transpired since that day in court when he was convicted.
Yeah, so he was convicted in June of it was June 25th, actually. I was looking at the opinion today. And 25th. So you get a right of appeal. You get a right of appeal. So he appealed, and he appealed his case to it was assigned to the Court of Appeals.
After somebody wrote a very long brief, I imagine.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, what happens is when you're defendant and you get convicted, you file what's called an appellate brief. Then the state of Mississippi, represented by the Attorney General's office, they do all what's called an appellee's brief. And in that brief, they'll defend the state's position. So here, what they did was you have to find an appeal relates to errors in law, pretty much. I'm just as simple as I can put it. And here he raised several issues regarding the jury instructions is always an issue that's generally raised on appeal.
Explain what jury instructions are, because I did not know until I started working with you.
Right. Yeah. I keep thinking people know. So when you're at the close of your case, before you do closing arguments, at the close of all the evidence, you'll put in what's called a jury instruction. The state will put in their instructions. The defense will submit their instructions, and you'll argue over which ones go in, and the judge decides which instructions are the proper way to instruct the jury of the law.
The process is really cool to watch, because y'all had some of this in the case that I did with you. You guys, the state, and then you as the defense attorney had some of the same jury instructions. So those were agreed upon.
Right.
And then the ones that were different, you kind of argue, and then the judge decides which ones will actually go to the jury, will be read to the jury.
Sure, exactly right. So the court, usually the judge, they have their own instructions that are just general blanket instructions they're going to give to every jury. And it's kind of like they'll have like witness testimony instructions, and nobody objects to those, the court's instructions. And the state's going to have theirs, and a lot of times they're going to be what's called an elements instruction, like the elements of murder or aggravated assault or whatever the charge is. And then the defense is going to put in theirs, and the defense is going to want to put, I want to put in stuff that's favorable to my side, that's going to read the law in the light that's most favorable to my client, right? And the state's not going to want that, so they're going to object, and I'm not going to want their version. So we're going to argue over we're going to argue over words, y'all. That's what lawyers do, little words here and there, and
because
fight.
Those little words though can make a big difference.
Huge difference
in a jury's mind when
Huge
you're
difference.
looking at what it says. If that's what you're being instructed to base your decision in the jury room on these jury instructions, and so little bitty words can change a lot.
No, that's absolutely right. They can change everything, the way something's worded in those instructions. And people, I think, in movies and TV, they're like, oh, somebody got off on a technicality. Well, you can call it that if you want, but it's so important, because the juror, y'all, is just the average juror is just a regular person that doesn't know anything about the law. Sometimes you get a lawyer on there, but not generally. And they don't know what the law is. Like, how are they going to know unless you tell them what the law is, what the law says? You need to follow it, and it has to be crafted correctly for them to follow it that way.
Because they don't just go in the jury room and decide whether they think the person did it or not.
Yeah,
that's not how it works.
They do that sometimes. They're like, yeah, he's probably guilty, and then they do it. But they need to be instructed properly on the law, and then the defense is going to have whatever their defense is in a jury instruction. Now here it was self-defense.
I remember laughing when you first told me that you had to work on jury instructions. I was like, well, we're prepared, we're ready to go, and you said, well, I just got to do jury instructions. I was like, oh, well, I was just thinking that's when you tell the jury they're going to deliberate, and I didn't realize just how important these things actually were, and how much time that you as an attorney put in to make sure they're crafted perfectly.
Yeah, you have to, because it just if you get them wrong, it could definitely sway the jury. They're like, well, the law says that. Now some of them I'm seeing that are that ticky-tacky. Some of them just can probably throw the instruction to the side of the room, and they're like, yeah, I think the guy did it, or I think he didn't do it, or they didn't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. I've heard of that happening, or pretty much seen that happen. And some are going to be very technical with it. I've had cases when I'm in trial, the jury you saw that in the case you were with me, they'll send out a note and they're like, 3 different times. What does this mean in the instruction? Because they're confused by like a certain word. We
saw that with the Karen retrial. Those jury instructions were very difficult to understand.
Yeah, those are really, really, I always say less is more when it comes to jury instructions. If you're the state, you want it to simplify it as much so that you can meet your burden of beyond a reasonable doubt.
They did in Karen Reed's case. They wanted to
as a defense. I know that was stupid. I understand that as a state, I would never do that. Now on the defense side, I want to make it as confusing as I can.
Right.
So it can create some reasonable doubt in their mind. Like that's what you want to do. But when you're the state, you want to shorten it, make it as easy as possible. Defense, confuse it. That's kind of the strategy.
So you have to research the law to get these jury instructions because they're coming from the law,
coming from the case law, come from statutes, and you have to back everyone up with that, or you can't just make up an instruction and say, here you go, and the judge is like, well, what's the law on that? I don't know.
Yeah, because when you argue it, you have to be able to know those facts and spit them out.
You have to know, this is from State versus Smith and whatever it is,
right?
So you have to know that, and that's what here one of the biggest arguments was over the wording of the self-defense instructions, and that's what caused the point of contention it seemed between the judges on the Court of Appeals. It was, I believe, a 6-3 decision where they affirmed it. 3 judges, though, did have pretty strong dissent in the case.
So they agreed that he's guilty, but 3 of the judges on the appellate board, or whatever they're called, they dissented, which means that they wrote something saying that they disagreed. Right.
Well, they're not saying they believe he's guilty or not. What they're saying, they're ruling on positions of law. They're not saying what the guilt or the innocence of the defendant. That's not
right.
That's up to the jury.
They're talking about this jury instruction.
Yeah, they're just there to rule on at the appellate level, just rule on the law. They're not there to they're not a trier of fact like the jury is.
Right.
So they
But the reason we saw 3 dissent is because of the wording of one of the jury
self-defense, which was the whole crux of the case, was a self-defense. Is that Jordan Cummins said that he was defending himself from, I believe it was Cam Owens and Joshua Spann, who was killed, by coming into his car and attacking him. And I think he said they had guns or whatever. And that was the whole crux of the whole case. His defense was that he was committing self-defense. The state was saying that he committed first-degree murder. The jury rejected Cummins' self-defense argument and then convict him of 2 counts of first-degree murder. But we'll get into all of that and the kind of the facts and explain it a little bit better than we were kind of just running through what all this stuff is. And I'm sure that was boring for everybody. I apologize for that. Anyway, we'll be back on the next segment of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Please stay tuned while you're sitting in the airport waiting on your plane.
Waiting on your turkey.
See ya.
Waiting on your turkey.
See ya.
.1039 WYAB.
Friday night lights, family, and a hot Johnny's Pizza House pizza on the table. Now, that's our kind of heaven. Make it a sweep the kitchen and bring everyone together. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice. Here in the South, we keep our football loud and our pizza loaded. Grab a Johnny's Pizza House, sweep the kitchen, and cheer on your hometown team. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Doctor, the AC doctor, what's your diagnosis? My whole house was hot as a fever. Now my house is frozen, 'cause my air conditioner's on. Doctor, my AC's broken. Doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
The AC Doctors is your one-stop provider for air conditioning and heating installation, service, and repair. Contact us for money-saving repairs and lower energy bills.
Doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
Google the AC Doctors and get some relief today. TheACDR.com.
You know what's a nightmare? We've all seen that movie where the bad guy's coming and your gun jams up. Luckily, that's just a movie, but you can't take the chance it could happen to you in real life. Hey, y'all, I'm Therese Apel from Dark Horse Press, and I've written stories about a whole lot of situations where people needed their gun to work for them. So if yours is moody or likes to jam, you need to take it to Guns and Gear. Let their professional gunsmiths look at it and fix it so it'll work when you need it. They're the absolute best at what they do, and that's why I buy all my guns from them. That's Guns and Gear in Gluckstadt. Check them out today.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Come together right now.
And we're back on the Lindsay Beckham Show here in the Men's Health, Women's Wellness, Women's Wellness. I can never say
That's
that.
a mouthful, huh?
It is. Studio of Mississippi on this day before Thanksgiving. Even, by the way, it is the day before Thanksgiving, which if you're young and have fun, unlike Lindsay and I, you get to go out and
I'm still fun. What you talking about?
Yeah, sometimes, right? I mean, you get to go out and party on the night. This is like the biggest. I was watching actually Good Morning America.
Is it really?
It is. Yeah, it's always been the biggest party night of the year. The night
I
before
guess. I
Thanksgiving.
I guess so. Yeah. I guess people are always home. And you get
Yeah,
back
everybody's
with your old
home.
high school friends. And
Yeah, when you're in college and it's the biggest party night of the year. So it has been for for decades.
Are we going to party tonight?
No, we're going to go see Wicked.
Okay,
Like
good.
so that's our partying in our 40s. We're going to go see Wicked. But well, anyway, but if you are out partying tonight and you go and drink and drive and you don't call an Uber, which you should, and you're not being smart if you don't, you can reach me at onetextlaw.com, and I do a ton of DUI work in the entire metro area. I'm in and out of every courthouse there is, and I can advise you of the situation. But,
Yes.
and of course, I might make fun of you if you drive and get a DUI on a holiday weekend. I always say this: if you get a DUI on a holiday weekend, you're an amateur drinker. You're just an amateur drinker because you should know better.
I'm sure, but
that this
if
is
you
how-
only
that
if
this
you only
is how-
have 2 drinks, I mean, you should be fine.
That's
right?
another thing. Okay, that would be. This is not. I can't give legal advice. I can just say this from experience. I've heard of every client I know, like almost. No, I'm kidding. But a lot of people tend to say I've had 2 drinks.
That's what you see in the videos when you
Yeah.
see these videos of cops pulling
It's
people
true.
over and they're drunk. That's always what they say.
And they say I've had 2 drinks. Now you need to think to yourself: if you tell the cop that you had 2 drinks, is he going to believe you? Right?
Yeah.
Do you believe yourself? Number 2, and have you ever gone to a bar in your life and only had 2 drinks? Now, maybe you're a person that's gone to a bar and had 2 drinks. I've never been that guy in my entire life. I've never been the guy that could go to a bar. If I'm just gonna have 2 drinks, I'll stay at home. And then I'll still have more than 2. But if you so nobody's gonna believe that story. So anyway, if you do get a DUI, you're out drinking and driving, don't get a DUI, call an Uber, call Lyft. But if you don't, give me a onetextlaw.com, and Lindsay will answer the website form or the phone at 601-862-1320. Anyway, well, now back to the law instead of plugging my DUI stuff, but I do it for every holiday because everybody goes out and drinks.
Yeah, because that's when the DUIs happen.
They happen. People love it. People are going to be pounding it. And then they also happen on Thanksgiving night, if you can believe it.
Because people have had to put up with their families
right.
and talking politics around the
Yep.
dinner table, and they're miserable. They need to go get drunk.
They got the Trump uncle and then the Kamala Harris aunt, and everybody's fighting.
Does the aunt have purple hair?
The aunt's got purple hair. The Trump uncle's got his MAGA hat, and everybody's arguing at the table, and people go out and get a drink.
Just don't talk religion and politics.
Well, you got to think also too, how mad are the police like when they have to work Thanksgiving anyway, and they're like,
And then they're like, and you're out having fun.
I gotta arrest your drunk butt now. And
I had to listen to the MAGA uncle and the woke liberal aunt, and I had to come to work.
Right.
So you're going to jail.
Yeah, you're going to jail, and you're going to be one of my quotas for the month. Not that they have. Well, yeah. Anyway,
I'm sure they do.
So just be careful tonight and just have a good time. I hope everybody has a great time. And one thing I would say, enjoy your family. I just, hold on to every moment. I've just experienced that. I'm losing my mother this past weekend, and it's a precious time of year, and you have a lot to be thankful for. So don't hate your family that much, because you never know how long you're going to have them.
Right.
I can tell
Make
you that.
amends if you can.
I mean, there was many times that I now look back where I'm like, God, I really wish I didn't get mad at my mother so much.
Mhm.
Sometimes we'd fight over stupid stuff.
I think we all feel that way after losing a parent.
Yeah.
Like we look back at the little stupid arguments, and think,
Mhm.
I should not have wasted that time. So if you
Sure.
have your parents, just
There
make amends and spend time with family.
It's not, yeah. Every argument you got in will not. I can
It won't
guarantee
matter.
won't matter and won't be worth it. At
Mhm.
the end. So just enjoy tomorrow with them, and thank God that you got them, and just everybody, just pray I'll pray for all y'all, and hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well-
And I mean, another holiday where people drink a lot is St. Patrick's Day,
Yes.
especially in Jackson.
And that was what happened. And during the trial of Mr. Jordan Cummins, a not so lovely Cummins, not so. And if you've noticed, Clay had a show with, I believe, his girlfriend Jenny Lukens on here, and talking about the case. So Mr. Cummins said that he was committing self-defense from the 2 guys, which I think are Cam Owens and Josh Spann. So he, like, I'll set up for y'all. He was in his car with Miss Lukens, and they were fighting, according to a lot of the witnesses. According to him, they weren't. I think according to her, she said
they were.
No, I think she had said a few different stories, didn't she? I'm not exactly
Well,
sure.
I think when she was on Clay's show, she said, "Yeah, I was mad and I was, not being the nicest person, and he was angry at that point because I think it just kind of spiraled
and stuff." So, they're drinking, everybody's partying on the St. Patty's Day parade is, and it looks like witnesses say they saw him hitting her or punching the back of the car.
She said that is not what was happening.
Right.
She did say that. She said that didn't happen, but she did claim, there were prior incidences in their relationship where he had been abusive.
Right.
Now, I think what she said was that she deserved it, or it was, she had been ugly first or something. I don't think any woman ever deserves to be beat or hit or pushed or shoved or whatever it was. But I also find it hard to believe that these guys would have gotten involved just for no reason. Like, why would they just pull up to this vehicle and just go and want to mess with this guy for no reason at all? So they must have seen something.
Yeah, it seems like they must have. And so they tried to pull him out of the car. I think one of them may have had a weapon. I'm not exactly sure about that. But so Cummins, he so he shot them. He shot at them, right? And one of them then missed Simpkins.
Why did they even have weapons? Any of them? Why did they have weapons?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I've always said it too. If you're going to a drinking party, don't bring your gun. It's really, and I'm not an anti-gun person. I think it's fine to carry your gun, just not when you're drinking. Just don't do it.
I understand you're in Jackson. Jackson's the #1 murder per capita in the country. But at the same time, if you're going to be in a place like the St. Patrick's Day Parade, where things can go south real quickly with all the alcohol involved, it's probably not the best idea to have weapons.
Well, I mean, I think if you feel like you need a gun to go to a drinking party, just don't go.
Yeah.
Like, how about that? Just don't go. If you need a gun to go to a drinking party, it's best that you stay at the house. But anyway, so Mr. Cummins' argument in this case, Lindsay, was that he was acting in self-defense, and that he did not commit what's called deliberate design murder, which is what the jury convicted him of, that he was acting in self-defense. Now, the state gave a jury instruction that said this. It said that if you're the initial aggressor, right, if you start a fight, basically,
right,
and that fight results in you getting to a altercation with an overly aggressive intended victim, this would be Cam Owens and Joshua Spann, then you can't claim self-defense. Basically, if you started it, you can't claim self-defense. Easiest way to put it. You started a fight, you can't claim self-defense. Oh, it says, and so that was instruction that was submitted to the jury. Now, the dissent in the case is saying the problem with that is, yes, that is the law to that effect, but also if you abandon the aggression and walk away or quit it or whatever it is, then it doesn't mean you can't still claim self-defense later on down the line in the sequence of events. Now, here what that means, to kind of make that sound a little simpler, is that Cummins is saying he had either stopped beating Lukens or there wasn't a fight.
He said I think they said there wasn't.
Yeah, he's saying not a fight. So therefore that he was entitled to claim self-defense because he wasn't fighting her. Now, the aggression, which sounds confusing, he wasn't the initial aggressor against Owens or Spann, but they were committing what is defense of others, which is Lukens, right? They're trying to help her. They're trying to be like good Samaritans, help her.
Right.
And so that imputed to them on that. So he was the initial aggressor towards Lukens, according to them, according to what the witnesses say. Now he's saying that's not what happened, and therefore he should have been entitled to a self-defense claim. And the judge, Wilson, is saying that he should have been able to say that. The instruction should have said, look, even if you abandon the aggression, you can still then claim self-defense later down the line, even if you were the initial aggressor at one point.
So the 3 judges that dissented, what they're saying is there should have been more added to that jury instruction.
Yeah, that's the way I'm reading that, right? There should have been
to explain to the jurors
that, even if you were the initial aggressor, if you abandon that, then if you basically what it says here, if you clearly and unequivocally abandon the original attack, so that would be the attack against Lukens, if that's what they, those guys saw. If you abandon that and you communicate the abandonment in some way, like, hey, I'm not hitting her, then doesn't mean you can't later claim self-defense in a sequence of events. I know that sounds really confusing, but basically, like, if you're not attacking somebody and you're kind of trying to leave the thing, and I don't know that he was necessarily leaving.
I've seen the video, but it's just really hard to make out what's happening and when the shots are fired and who shot who and when. It's very, very difficult from watching the video to understand what was going on.
Well, so Cummins said he should have been allowed to argue that any altercation with Lukens was over by the time Owens and others came up and started hitting him and pulling him from the car. So Jordan Cummins is saying that it's over by the time they come in and do something. Like, I thought
he was saying it never happened.
Well, he's also saying whatever, like, argument or whatever they may have seen, that kind of thing. Like even if he was just hitting the back of the car, I think he did say that he was hitting the back.
Maybe
of
he
the
said he hit the back.
So
of the
whatever altercation there was, it was over by the time these two guys came in the car. Like that was over with. And so therefore he should have been able, he wasn't the initial aggressor at that point. He was not doing anything, and that he should have been able to claim that self-defense in that way. So Judge Wilson says it was highly problematic and says that Cummins didn't get a fully accurate self-defense charge. So like you're saying, add to it. That's what Wilson's saying. Now, two of the other judges joined him in that opinion and agreed with that. So that was, but it
wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough because it's 6-3 and it was affirmed. But we'll finish up the rest of this on the next segment of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Stay tuned.
Stay with us.
Of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Stay tuned.
Stay with us.
.1039 WYAB.
Friday Night Lights, family, and a hot Johnny's Pizza House pizza on the table. Now, that's our kind of hunt. Make it a sweep the kitchen and bring everyone together. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice. Here in the South, we keep our football loud and our pizza loaded. Grab a Johnny's Pizza House, sweep the kitchen, and cheer on your hometown team. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
CBS News Brief. A judge has dismissed the Georgia election interference case against President Trump and others after the prosecutor who recently took over the case said he wouldn't be pursuing the charges. CBS's Jake Rosen.
Scandalakis, this new prosecutor, cites a lack of time and resources to take on this case, and also cites that President Trump, because he's currently sitting in the White House, could not actually be put on trial until at least 2029.
Chris Van Cleve has more on the Thanksgiving travel rush.
Now, the airlines have operated pretty well despite the weather. There's not been noticeable staffing issues like we saw during the shutdown. So from an operational standpoint, so far, so good, but some big tests potentially today.
That includes snow and strong winds in the Great Lakes region moving into the Northeast. A winter storm warning for large parts of Minnesota, where there have already been numerous crashes due to the conditions. On Wall Street, stocks are higher. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
Men, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you could be suffering from low testosterone. Do you have low sex drive? ED, always tired, depressed, loss of muscle mass, obese, loss of focus and drive? You, my friends, need to get your numbers checked. Check out Men's Health of Mississippi, located in Madison, Mississippi, and online at menshealthms.com. Guys, get your numbers checked today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. menshealthms.com. Men's Health of Mississippi.
Hello, I'm Gary Jolly from the Tractor Store. LS Tractor understands your passion for the land, and just like you, LS Tractor is committed to excellence and superior products. LS Tractor comes with a long list of standard features that are unmatched by other brands and backed with the LS commitment to provide exceptional customer service and satisfaction. You get a lot more for your money with the LS Tractor. Come to the Tractor Store in Richland to experience the LS difference. The Tractor Store in Richland.
Tri-County Tree Service, the Jackson Metro's premier company to handle all of your tree service needs. Russ Borland and his team specialize in large tree, low-impact removal. Tri-County Tree Service has the right equipment to safely handle the most technical trim jobs or tree removals. Storm damage can happen year-round, so let them clean it up and they'll deal with your insurance claim. Tri-County Tree Service, by phone at 601-TREE-GUY or online at tricotreeservice.com. That's tricotreeservice.com.
Hi, this is Casey Seymour from Hometown Hardware in Flora. Hunting season is here, and Hometown Hardware in Flora is your local hunting headquarters. Whether you're setting up a new spot or restocking for the season, we've got you covered. We have ground blinds, shooting houses, feeders, food plot mixes, attractants, and much more. We have everything you need for a successful season, and the hometown service you can always trust at Hometown Hardware, located at 1080.
And we're back on the Lindsay Beckham Show here on the day before Thanksgiving. Wondering if anybody's even listening because they're
Some people are, I think.
they're probably having they're having travel issues like the rest of the country and trying to get out of town.
Yeah.
But if you are, we are discussing the Jordan Cummins verdict that was affirmed by the Mississippi Court of Appeals yesterday. And there was a couple of this is the St. Paddy's Day murder case that was pretty kind of notorious around here.
Yeah, well, you know what I think the problem is, especially with the self-defense argument, probably to most jurors, is the jailhouse video.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get into. The right, exactly. Lindsay's talking about. So Mr. Cummins has claimed that he committed, that he was acting in self-defense when he shot these people. But then, of course, Lindsay, what do you remember what the video said? If there was a video that once he was arrested for this and he was in Raymond, he made a video because everybody has got a cell phone apparently.
Exactly.
And he made a video.
And
So
he looks messed up on something, and I don't know what he was under the influence of, but obviously something. But I think he was talking about how he took two down, meaning black people.
Right. Yeah, he said he took two down and then two dead or something. Is that right?
Yeah, something along
something
those lines.
is like
He's bragging about it, very clearly bragging about killing two black people.
Yeah, exactly. I don't remember exactly his words, but he was right. Lindsay's right. He was using basically kind of acting hard. He was with another guy. I was in the video with him, if I remember correctly.
Yes, there are two guys in the video.
And he was like, yeah, two dead. Yeah, it was like step on me, two dead kind of thing. Like, yo, I killed those because they stepped on me. Like that's what he was saying. So of course that went to the jury saw that because the state played that. And that actually, Lindsay, is in the opinion because he did that was an appeal issue for him, for the defendant, for him, where he said that it shouldn't come in because it's considered a other bad act, not the central crime, because it should not be admissible because it was something else, right?
How about don't take contraband cell phones into the jail and then make videos bragging about killing somebody, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, well, generally what it is when I guess I'm trying to explain this. So the law is like if you're indicted for murder, the things that come into evidence in the trial should be related to that murder, not about whether you stole bubble gum, when you were 6, not other bad acts. But here's the exception. So the exception is if it goes to prove motive, opportunity, intent, plan, preparation. There's a lot of things like exceptions in that rule. So generally, though, other bad acts are not coming into evidence.
I was going to say he was talking about the murder,
right? But still, like it still is. It's considered an other bad act. It's got to be something that's generally related under what I just said. There's exceptions: motive, opportunity, intent, plan, preparation. Because you don't want somebody should not go. This country is kind of, this country was founded on the principle that you should not go to trial based on other things you did in the past. Like it's not something, or in the future, like it's got to be related about what you're being tried for. You're not being tried for other things you've done. That's kind of the premise of it. And here, what the thing is, it clearly showed his motive and intent when you look at that video. It was very clear.
And even if you shoot someone in self-defense, you're still not going to be proud of the fact that you just killed somebody.
And that's what they're saying, why it came in. It was an exception to that rule of bad acts, rule, other bad acts, because it showed his motive and his intent. And like, because of what you're saying, like he's saying that, you stepped to me, two dead. That's not like somebody that's acting in self-defense. That's somebody that's proud of what they did.
Right. Exactly.
Now, I did watch that portion of the trial and I don't recall. See, what I would have done if I was defending him is I would have brought it out myself. I would have had him brought that evidence out myself and say, because look, it's already bad. It's coming in. I know it's coming in.
Right. We know it's going to be, then we know they're going to show it. So let's go ahead and get on top of it, get in front of it.
Yeah.
And tell them the reasons why we don't think it should be used against him.
Well, no, I'm saying, well, exactly. Yeah. Like I would, I know the state's going to put that in, so I'm going to get out there and talk about it because it's coming in. It's really bad for my client. What do I do with this? And what I think what you do is you say, look, he was in, if anybody all been out to Raymond, I have been out there for the last 25 years, many, many times.
Always at shift change.
Or even like I said, when I was a prosecutor, you have to go out there. It's a tough place. It's a scary place. And I think the argument could have been made if you were him, if I was Cummins, I got on stand and be like, look, I was trying to act hard. I was trying to fit in. I was going to get, I was going to get shanked if I didn't do that. I could not act like a weakling. I couldn't be like, oh no, it was self-defense. I had to act like I was a killer, like everybody else, like trying to fit in the club. Like that's what I would have said and gone with that. Because but what I remember is I think he just left it unexplained. I don't think he actually addressed it. From what I recall.
don't think they actually addressed it. Didn't seem. I don't remember them doing that.
And so then you let the state define it, and you let the jury just sit there. Wait a second. Are you going to say why you made this ridiculous? I don't remember. Lindsay, I have to look back. I don't remember him ever explaining why he made that video. Like there wasn't and I don't remember the defense counsel talking about it in closing argument or anything like that.
I think I remember Jenny saying, he wanted to seem hard.
But that might have been what she didn't say that to the jury because she,
right,
I mean,
I don't remember anything being said in the courtroom.
That's what I'm saying. Like she didn't say that. That's only he could have addressed that, and I don't remember that being brought up by the defense counsel either. Like why? Because it just kind of went hanging out there, and that's one thing you cannot do when you are in a trial. The jurors, you'd be surprised about how many little things they're picking up. And if you just can't leave something like that out there and not have some sort of explanation for it. It's unexplained. Like you make a video said, yeah, man, I'm happy I got hard and I killed 2 people. And you don't say anything about that, like why that was out there. And so I think the jury inferred from that, yeah, this dude's guilty. This self-defense thing is bogus. And that's what I thought when I watched the trial. I'm like, this is, I mean, I'd have convicted the crap out of him too, because he didn't address that in my mind. Like, why did you do that? You just did it for fun? Like, okay,
yeah,
buddy.
I mean, that just makes you look even worse.
And I think this, comes to a greater issue too. Like, we were talking about this earlier. Why? My problem would be, why are you bringing a gun to this event? Now, if you listen to some of the testimony that came out in the trial, and I was there, like I said, I wrote this article with Russ about it. He talks about, like, I think he put the gun in Jenny's backpack, if I remember. I mean, how many times did you and I
it with him everywhere they walked at the parade, they had that gun.
Okay, you and I went to the St. Paddy's Day Festival this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did I just give you my gun to put in your purse? No, I didn't. Right? Like I didn't do that. And that's my thing. And that's my whole thing. Like, why?
Especially if you're hot-headed, and he knows he is. He knows that he has got an anger, a temper problem,
right? And
that he loses his temper easily. If you already know that, people are going to be drinking. Somebody's probably going to make you angry at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Why even put yourself in a position where there's a gun right there that you could pick up and use?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, what's the purpose of this? Why are you? I've never.
And why did she give it to him? He asked her for it, and she got it out and gave it to him.
I mean, I've been going to the St. Paddy's Day Festival since the late 1990s. I've never once brought a gun to it, even as dangerous as Jackson is. Now, let's look at this. Let's throw this wrinkle in it. What if you're Jordan Cummins and everything happens in that event, but you don't have a gun? You just get your butt beat, right? Your ass beat. Like that's what happens, right? Like right? But that's all that happens. You're not in jail for the rest of your life,
right?
You just get a butt whooping. Like that's all you get.
Your pride might be a little hurt, but then it's over.
Yeah, Owens and Spann weren't going to kill him, so that's what happens. But instead, he gets to spend the rest of his life in parchment. Fun stuff. I mean, that's just because you want to. And that's my point, to people that are listening, because I've seen this for the last 20 years of doing this. I've seen it's always this one bad decision that lands you in prison for the rest of your life.
He got life without parole?
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, I think at first degree murder, you can petition the sitting circuit judge when you're 65.
After being in there for so many years.
Yeah, I think that's the way it's styled. But yeah, that's right. And capital murder is life without parole. But the simple murder, as they call it, it used to be at 65, you can petition the sitting circuit judge for a conditional release or something like that.
How old is he? I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. He's like in his early 20s. So he's going to be there basically. And that's if you're in prison, it's hard to live that long too. That's another issue. But I mean, I guess, but my point again is like, it's these little decisions in your life that I've seen over and over again that people end up spending the rest of their lives in for some hot-headed, stupid decision,
right?
Over nothing. I mean, over nothing. And you just threw your whole life away because you went to a St. Paddy's Day festival and you thought, well, man, I'm gonna need to bring a gun with me. Well, that's brilliant. And then you end up killing 2 people because you're in a drunken argument with your girlfriend. Like, I mean, and your whole life is over now. Like, and I just, and there's, and the reason I'm keep stressing that is because it's not just Jordan Cummins. I've seen a lot of Jordan Cummins over the last 20 years, a lot of them.
And a lot of it has to do with the girl too.
A lot of it has to do with a girl. And that's exactly
know?
right. It has a lot to do with a girl or some sort of
Would
respect
you
or
kill for
pride
me,
issue.
Sean?
I ain't sitting in parchment for anybody, dude. No, I'm telling you right now, I'm not sitting in parchment for you.
I would never want you to pull a gun on anybody for
Not
me.
even for Ray, my dog. I ain't sitting in parchment for, like, I ain't. If anybody, that's what everybody should do. If you're a parent, take your kids up to a field trip up there and see it. And you will be like me and say, I do not want to go to Parchment.
Well,
I'm telling you, I'm not going.
It just made me think about this too. I mean, I have seen you grab a gun before, and
Sure.
and we talked about it after the fact. And I remember you clearly saying, I'm glad I didn't have to shoot him.
Yeah.
Because then I would have had to live with that. And you still could have to go to trial over it, even if it was very clearly self-defense.
Right.
So, I mean, you never would have been bragging about it.
No, absolutely not. I mean, it's right. I don't want to kill anybody if I don't have to.
Yeah.
Now, that was a night when somebody broke into her house. And,
Right.
And yeah, obviously I wasn't going to, I mean, I hate when people say, I would have loved to shoot him. Like, really? I mean, you know,
I don't know why anybody would love to shoot anybody.
I find that it's really, it's like somebody that has not dealt with a lot of death, I guess, is what I always think, or seen a lot of murders. And I've seen a ton of them. And yeah, and again, it's not like I'm not anti-gun. I was in the Marines. I don't have any problem with people owning as many guns
You
as
have
they
one
want
by
to.
your bed. I
I
mean,
one by my bed. I sleep with every night. I got no problem with that. But I think there's a difference, you know, between like responsible gun ownership and thinking about those things through. And I've also never been in a situation where I'm asking my girlfriend to put my gun in a, you know, backpack. And
Right.
I've been in the Marines, and I was a law enforcement officer in the Marine Corps. And I've been, you know, it's not like I do understand how the proper use of weapons and when I need to carry them, when I don't. And I've carried my gun on many occasions in places I think I need to carry them. Or even if I'm just, you know, sometimes I carry the gun in the car. It's not like I'm against carrying your weapon. I'm not against that. It's just, I've never walked into a bar where I'm going to drink, and I'm going to drink a lot because I like drinking when I'm in a bar, with my gun. I've just not
Right.
done that. Like,
you're smarter. You know that's not going to end well.
yeah, it's not going to end well. And then I'd rather just take look, if I'm going to get shot in the bar while I'm drinking, that's on me. I chose to go in the bar, and that's what happened. But I'm not going to be the guy that was drunk and shot somebody. That is not happening to me. And it's happened to a lot of people I've prosecuted. It's happened to people I've defended. It is a bad decision overall. And I think that's really the theme of this whole case. Don't take your gun and go drinking. Take it anywhere else you want. Take it to Disney World.
And
I don't
beat
care.
your girlfriend.
Yeah, don't beat your girlfriend. But we'll be right back on the next segment of the Lindsay Beckham Show. Y'all stay tuned. And we're back on the Lindsay Beckham Show here for the last segment, and where we're going to finish up and get ready for our lovely Thanksgiving stuff. Lindsay, what are your plans again?
Yes, I'll be in Yazoo City that's where my mom and my grandmother live, and I will have my crew in tow, all 5 of them.
Yeah.
And so we will eat some Thanksgiving food and then watch the Egg Bowl, I guess. And
Friday morning at 11. It's early.
It's
early.
I hate that it's that early. I was hoping that it would be, like a 6 p.m. game, but
you know where I won't be having Thanksgiving?
In Yazoo City.
Parchman.
Parchman.
That's where I will not. I will not be spreading any anyway. I will not be having it in Parchman. And so
I wonder if they give them turkey and stuff on Thanksgiving.
I don't know, and I don't want to find out.
Me either.
That's my advice for anybody that's thinking tonight to go out to the bar, which is, again, we were talking about earlier. It's the biggest going out night of the year. Don't bring your gun with you. Don't end up having Thanksgiving next year with Jordan. You don't want to do that.
No, you don't.
You don't want to do that. So please leave your weapon at home. If you're going to go out and drink. If you don't want to leave your weapon at home, then don't go drink or drink at the house and just go shoot stuff in your backyard. Whatever.
Or go look at Christmas lights instead. That always makes people happy.
Yeah, or go drink and look at Christmas lights and don't be around people. And you can have your gun with you then.
Some eggnog,
that's fine.
Yeah.
But don't go to a bar with your weapon on you.
But don't drink and drive around, look at Christmas lights while you're drinking. But if you do, you can call us.
Well, if you do it earlier in the evening before I'm kidding. I'm kidding before the cops come out. You might want to do it earlier in the evening.
The cops listening to us are like, oh,
yeah.
These two.
So, I mean, if you're drinking after 11 on tonight, you're probably going to go to jail. I'm just being honest with you. So you got to watch out for that. And if you do, you can reach me at onetextlaw.com or 601-862-1320. I do a lot of DUI work, but at least you can say I advised you beforehand not to do it before you hand me a check.
And he might
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, before you hand me a check, I'm telling you, don't.
He might make fun of you, which I don't think you should. I mean, they're helping pay your salary.
Oh, no, I do. But I mean, I make fun of them like the way I, make fun of my old drinking self in those days when I was drinking, doing stupid things. Making stupid decisions. And we all do them especially when we're younger. You're going to do really dumb things. But we didn't have, when I was in my 20s, we didn't have Uber. We just had, I'm going to chance it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to hold it straight. I put one hand over my eye because I'm seeing double.
There's no excuse now.
The one hand over my eye thing where I'm seeing double. Anyway, but we will, Lindsay, we'll see you on Monday. Have a great Thanksgiving. See ya.
Bye.